welcome back. For this video segment, you guys are going to want to take a look at page 4 of your class procedure packet. This explains all about data assignments. So as we're going through the video, again, if you have any questions, you're going to want to jot those down off to the side or on the back of your syllabus. Yes, welcome back.
Welcome back. What are we going to talk about?
We are going to talk about data assignments today,
Data assignments. Data assignments.
Which is definitely, she's acting a little crazy, isn't it? Which is the last 5% of your grade. It is.
Do you say data?
I say data.
I say data.
You say data?
Data?
I've never even heard that.
Oh.
Some students say data.
Data? Data? What is it?
I think both
Tomato?
are correct.
Tomato?
I think they're both
Yes,
correct. I
okay.
think they're both correct. So either is fine with us. But data assignment stands for Developing Achievement Test Ability. We have different activities that we are going to offer throughout the course of the year that will help you meet this requirement, this 5% of your grade.
10.
It is required of every student, every single quarter, to get 10 data assignments turned in by the end of the quarter. Okay, you need 10 data assignments.
But there's
turned
9.
in.
But there's 9 weeks in the quarter.
Oh, but wait, Mrs. Frankman. There's plenty of ways that you can earn data assignments. Okay, so even though there's 9 weeks in a quarter, all right, and you need 10 data assignments, you can sometimes do a combination of activities, okay, to make sure that you get that quota of 10 data assignments fulfilled.
The
okay,
big
before the end.
The big thing that we need to make sure you get. This is not optional. It is not extra credit. It is required that you get 10 data assignments by the end of the quarter. If you don't, your grade is going to be 5% lower than it should be. So
Wow.
if you don't have any data assignments and you ended up with like an 85%, you're going to get a B. If you turned in 10 data assignments, your grade would go up 5%. It would be a 90%. You would have an A. So we don't want you to be a Yahoo, because Yahoo are people that get a lower grade because they did not do their data assignments. We don't want that to happen. It's not extra credit. It is not optional. So some ways to do this.
Okay, before we get there, you know, Mrs. Frankman mentioned before, there are 9 weeks in a quarter and you need 10 data assignments, okay? So what we recommend is that you kind of put in the back of your head that you need to do 1 data assignment every single week, okay? Since there's 9 weeks in a quarter, you know that you can, as long as you're doing 1 data assignment each week and turning that in, you're gonna have at least 9 data assignments. That's an A, right? So you're going to have 9 data assignments turned in. The most reliable type of data assignment is a science news report. Okay, every single student can turn in 1 time a week 1 science news report.
So a science news report, essentially what you do is you find a newspaper article. We've got all kinds of magazines that you can borrow from us.
With different levels of reading as well.
Absolutely. We don't care where it comes from. There was one year a kid brought a skateboard magazine in, and it had an awesome science article in it talking about the physics of the skateboard. As long as it is a science-related topic, I don't care if it comes from Better Homes and Gardens, the New Cleveland Plain Dealer, or even the internet. On my school, our teacher webpage, my School Point page, there's a whole section that says data assignments. If you click on that folder, there are all kinds of really good online resources where you can find articles. It's important you find an article that's more than 1 little paragraph long, because what you're going to do, you're going to read the article, you're going to write down 3 facts, 3 sentences, factual statements that you learned. You're going to find 2 words that you don't necessarily know the definitions to. Some of these articles, maybe you know all of the words. So you're going to pick out 2 words that maybe if you were younger in 2nd grade or 1st grade, what would be harder words for those kids to understand? And then you're going to define those terms. The big part is then you're going to summarize the article in 200 to 300 words. A lot of kids like to type these up. It's easier than writing it, but you can write it if you want. You can write it on notebook paper and staple it. You can write it directly on the back of the paper. It's up to you how you want to produce that summary, but you do have to write the summary. Mrs. Krogan and I know it's shocking, but we actually do read these. So you need to put some quality effort, some quality work into that summary.
Do we have a model of a science news report from a student, possibly?
I don't know. Maybe
we'll
we
have
should
to try to pull one of those
Yeah,
out for you
pull a
so you
model
can
out.
see. But 200 words is really not a lot.
Right.
But we will tell you one thing. If your summary is not at least 200 words, okay, and we encourage you to go, between 200 and 300 words, but if it's not 200 words, you are going to have your science news report returned back to you, and then unfortunately you will lose the opportunity to turn in a science news report that week. We are only allowing you, every student, to turn in 1 science news report each week. You can't wait until the 9th week of the quarter and give us 9 science news reports because you decided, I don't really feel like doing those. I'll wait until the end. I'll wait and I'll just do it over one weekend. You can't do that. You've got to make sure you're submitting these on a weekly basis. 1 per week is all that we will allow. Okay, you cannot double up. Can't give 2 in 1 week. All right, if you miss a week. There's other ways to catch up if you happen to fall behind on your datas.
And again, in Mrs. Krogan's room, she's got a huge stockpile of magazines. In my room, I also have some magazines. You just sign them out. It's kind of like the honor system. You sign them out, use them, read the articles, do your science news report, and then turn them back in. But again, only 1 per week. But you can definitely get more than 1 data assignment in a week, but only one of them can be a science news report.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about some of the others.
Okay, class extension activities. When we are going through a unit of study, let's say we are, we're studying motion. We might one day come into class, and at the beginning of class, we might say, students, we have a class extension activity worth a data assignment. And that might be some kind of extension of the topic that you're learning, something about motion. It might be a computer assignment. Sometimes it can be even a TV program that you have to watch and report about, all right? But it would be related to whatever you're learning in class. If we're offering that for a data assignment, there is a deadline. Usually we give about 2 weeks from the date that we assign the extension activity, and then you have 2 weeks to complete that class extension. Is it optional?
No. Oh, yeah. Yes. The class extension activities absolutely are optional. You don't have to do them. If you want to do a science news report instead, that's fine.
Absolutely.
You don't have to do them. We also have science contests. What?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
Can we
What?
Can we go back to this?
Yeah.
Okay. It is entirely optional. You don't have to do the classroom activity that we offer you. You can do your science news report instead. Or what else can you do?
You could double up. You could do a science news report and the classroom extension activity and bang out 2 data assignments in 1 week.
How would that benefit the student?
Well, then they'd be ahead because there's 10 data assignments in only 9 weeks. So you can get ahead, and maybe the next week you wouldn't have to do your science news report.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you could end up doubling up. So
Right.
anytime those extension activities come out, that's a great way to pull yourself ahead. Or let's say you fell behind a week and you need another data assignment, then yeah, we definitely encourage you to double up, do a science news report, and do that class extension activity so that you can get where you need to be. Okay?
That's right.
So go ahead with the
Okay,
science contest.
science contest. Mrs. Krogan and I, we are very competitive people, and we love having competitions within our classrooms. And what are the prizes? Of course, the prize for any of the contests we have would be a data assignment. In fact, in the first couple of weeks of school here, we're going to have a couple of different contests. So with the extension activities, we usually have maybe 2 or 3 per quarter. Science contests, I'd probably say maybe 2.
Yeah, let's say 2.
2 or 3 per quarter. But again, the Science News Report, without fail, you can do every single week one of those. Extension activities, 2 to 3 per quarter. Science contests, 2 to 3 per quarter. And that brings us to the state test review quizzes.
For our state test review, we've got 2 major standardized tests that you'll need to tackle this year. One is going to be in February, which is
March.
a performance. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's March.
You're right.
Performance-based.
Performance-based standardized test. You'll be doing that on the computers. And then at the end of the year in May, you'll also have another standardized test, which will be done on the computers as well. So we need to make sure that you're prepared for that test. And certainly throughout the course of the year, we're going to be teaching you the material that's on those tests. But in order to keep that material fresh as we go along and as you're learning new things, we're going to go back over that material to make sure it's really cemented in there. So we're going to offer some assignments that are going to go back over some of that older material. And when we assign those, you're going to create some kind of study guide for us. The study guide is going to be something that you're going to have probably a week to do, and then you'll be turning that study guide into us, and we'll be giving you a quiz over that material. If you earn 80% or higher on that quiz that we give you that day, and you have the study guide that was assigned done, it's completed, it's good work, then you will earn a data assignment for that.
It's a great way to earn a data assignment because we know all of you are going to be prepared anyway. So you're getting a data assignment for doing what you're supposed to do anyway, what many of you are doing anyway. So it's an awesome way. So in 1 week, listen to this. You could do a science news report. You could do the class extension activity. You might be on the winning team when we have a contest. And if you get an 80% on a quiz, you could get 4 data assignments in 1 week. You could get a lot of them in 1 week in any kind of combination. But again, the rule is only one of them can be a science news report.
That's correct. And when we give these state test review assignments, which we'll explain a little bit later, a little bit more, they are not optional assignments, okay? Unlike the class extension activity where you have the option to do that instead of a science news report or in addition to a science news report, these are not optional. We expect you to do this because they are helping you to refresh the material for the standardized state exams that you guys have to take at the end of the middle and the end of the year. So these are not optional.
And last but not least,
we have something so exciting for you. So exciting.
Here's for you. Look.
Every single quarter.
Woo!
Every single quarter, we are going to hand you an entire sheet of what we call Terra tokens.
This is like money. It's like the BioBucks from last year, only better. Terra tokens are our classroom currency. And in the end of the quarter, if you're still left with these Terra tokens, they turn into data assignments. 5 of these Terra tokens equals 1 data assignment. Now, you can earn Terra tokens throughout the quarter if we see you doing something really...
Wait.
What?
Okay, 5 of these are worth 1 data assignment?
1 data assignment.
So if they keep the entire sheet...
They've got 2 data assignments right in their hands.
You could redeem this entire sheet for your last 2 data assignments.
Oh,
so how many would you have to do then?
Only 8. I could do math. But you know what I had kids do last year, Mrs. Krogan?
I can't imagine.
They kept their sheet of Terra tokens from first quarter. They kept their sheet of Terra tokens from second quarter. They kept their Terra tokens from third quarter and fourth quarter. And last quarter,
Oh, let's let them do the math.
how
many data
they
assignments did
handed
they
4
start?
sheets.
How many
And then-
did they start with?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They started with 8. They only needed to get 2 data assignments last quarter. So these can be used from one quarter to the next. And if you have all your data assignments first quarter, by all means, hang on to them. A little safety precaution, you are required to write your name in ink on these Terra tokens. That way, if they get separated from you, it's going to be harder for somebody to pick them up and write their own name on them, because if it's in ink, they can't erase it. And Mrs. Krogan and I, we get a Terra token with a big blob on it, we'll say, hey, what's going on here? So you want to write, as soon as we give them to you, you want to write your name on them. Now, Terra tokens, you can earn Terra tokens throughout the quarter besides the ones that we're going to give you. If you come in second or third place for a contest. I also often give Terra tokens if I hear my lab group, they're having a really good discussion, or I see 2 kids really working well together, I might throw a Terra token or 2 down. If I see somebody in the hallway do something really nice for another kid, unsolicited, I might give them some Terra tokens. So you can earn Terra tokens, but I think you can also lose Terra tokens.
Yes. How would a student lose Terra tokens, Mrs. Frankman?
Well, you know, the ding-dongs that forget their homework in their locker, they got to go all the way back to their locker to get their homework. Anytime you have to leave my room, except to go to the restroom, and 2 Terra tokens. You got to pay me 2 Terra tokens.
The penalty for either having to leave the room after classes started, to get your homework that was left in your locker, to get a pencil out of your locker because you forgot to bring something to class, to bring to get a calculator, whatever. If you come unprepared, or something like that, you're going to lose 2 Terra tokens. We're going to take those 2 away from you.
We also charge rental fees.
Oh.
Yeah, like
good
if you don't have
points.
your book, or you don't have a pencil or something like that, or your calculator, rather than to have you waste that time going to your locker to get it, we charge you 2 Terra tokens to rent a book from us. So really, if you're with it and prepared and you've got all of the things that you need, there's no reason you should be losing those Terra tokens. So it's really a great way you're starting off with a full sheet of Terra tokens at the beginning of every quarter, and again at the end of the quarter, those 5 Terra tokens turn into 1 data assignment. Now we don't collect those Terra tokens until like the last couple of days of the quarter.
2 to 3 days
Right.
before the end of the quarter. So you cannot, like, let's say you forgot to do a science news report one week. You can't rip off 5 Terra tokens and give those to us.
Right.
Those are your passes, for class. Those are, things that
Your currency.
Your currency. So we need to have those throughout the course of the quarter. So we will not collect, those Terra tokens into the very last few days.
And
then
what-
you can use whatever's remaining for your data assignments if you choose. Otherwise, they roll into the next quarter, and as Mrs. Frankman said, we give you a brand new sheet with 10 Terra tokens the next quarter.
I encourage you and your parents to go to our School Point webpage. Click on the folder that says
I'm
data
gonna pull that up.
assignments.
Go ahead and keep
Okay,
talking. I'm gonna pull that
go
up for you.
to the folder that says data assignments and click on that. There's a handout here that's like frequently asked questions. There's also a science news report form on that folder. I guess we could have been showing them how to do this. Maybe
Okay.
we'll
So,
make it a little
you know what? We'll make a little. We'll show them.
Here it is, down here at the bottom.
Okay, so right here we've got a folder that says data assignments.
Data
You open
assignments,
that
click
up.
on it.
The explanation handout is always good to refer back to. The science news report form. Oh, this is kind of cool. If you open this up,
It's in Microsoft Word.
it's in Microsoft Word. Often what kids do is they will copy this and they'll put it into another document, and then you can type right into it.
Type type away and then type their summary on the
And
back.
type your summary
So-
and then print it off.
Right,
It's
and-
got a word count and everything.
Right, and it does have a word count, so that's cool.